Hello everyone and welcome back to another Total War Warhammer 2 DLC video. Today we're looking at probably the last major DLC release for this Warhammer title in the form of the Silence and the Fury. The title references our two expanded factions, one more so than the other though, in the form of the Lizardmen led by the new legendary lord Oxyotl and the reworked Beastmen with Taurox the Brass Bull. Naturally, this pack adds new units for each faction, alongside some new Lord mechanics. The first up is the Lizardmen, with the aforementioned Oxo Cube. As the latest Lizard Legendary Lord, he has a strong focus on preventing calamity across the world via his Visions from the Old Ones mechanic. As such, Oxyotl can access silent sanctums across the map that you unlock as you complete certain tasks. These act similar to hidden coves from the Vampire Coast DLC, in that they exist inside an existing settlement, but can't be detected by that region's owner. This allows you to activate different buffs within that area that give you vision over the entire region, buffing your troops inside the zone, and hindering enemy replenishment. The visions act as a mission set that allow you to teleport around the map to strike at chaos. Completing these in a set time awards you with things like Regiments of Renown, money, and access to more silent sanctums. Thematically, Oxyotl is a boogeyman of chaos, always stalking them and attacking seemingly at random from hidden locations. As such, his faction can comfortably settle any locale without penalty, which is a nice bonus. As the new lord, he is a ranged attacker with some powerful blow darts that can fling enemies around the battlefield, and is a half-decent melee combatant, but not the best. I mean, he has the Saurians and the Skinks to do his heavy lifting. His natural abilities, though, are to switch to a sniping mode for ranged murder, which is extremely useful for killing large units and heroes and lords. The new roster additions include a new Skink hero, the Skink Oracle, who rides atop the new Troglodon beast. A powerful spellcaster, he can heal, damage deal, and buff, whilst his mount will spit poison and tear it up in the melee. The Skink Oracle certainly sits at the higher end of the Lizardmen roster where power is concerned, and it helps he looks pretty cool, and his monstrous mount is a genuine terror to fight against. The new Chameleon Stalkers are a shock infantry unit firing the game's only precursor weapon, though it still just looks like a blow dart. Vanguard deployment with stealth, these units can sit patiently waiting for their enemy to pass by them before launching an extremely powerful ranged attack that explodes, breaking up their line as they charge forward. This makes them very effective at smashing unit cohesion to remove any charge defense bonus while also being effective in close combat. A solid addition for the roster, I say. Next up is the Troglodon. As mentioned earlier, they spit poison before closing in on their target. This feral version is capable of going on the rampage when engaged in close combat, but you may also use them just as effectively at range. Their poison spit counts as anti-large and armor piercing, meaning they can just as easily support the front line with corrosive attacks that can whittle away heavy armor or take down that Gorgon that's running around the battlefield. The final addition though is the Coatl. These large flying beasts fire magical armor-piercing blasts alongside a few other spells. They shroud friendly armies in their shadow to prevent detection and cause terror. Throwing these into the fray can quickly create a domino effect of routes in the enemy line, and their strong resistances to most damage types keep them in the fight for the long haul. That said though, the more significant change here is where the Beastmen are concerned, an update that many have been asking for since their addition back in the original Total War Warhammer. It is a welcome one. The core playstyle is the same overall. The Beastmen still work fundamentally as a horde faction, relying on their ability to move around the map, cause chaos, kill everything, and tech up. Now though, the theme is expanded with new additions, like the Bloodgrounds. When you conquer a settlement, you can now erect a herd stone, and from this you can designate an area as your Bloodgrounds, which is basically the zone that your herd of mad beasts are rampaging through for that period of time. Every subsequent settlement destroyed or battle won in these lands will grant you bonus points toward a ritual which can be performed at the Herdstone. After you've finished your murder spree, you can perform the ritual of Ruin, which will turn the area into a devastated Bloodgrounds, which makes it extremely chaos friendly and very difficult for other factions to operate in or colonize very easily. The rewards also grant Marks of Ruination, which now act as a kind of experience bar that unlocks new units to recruit, and also Dread, a new resource used to purchase all kinds of goodies like higher unit caps, extra legendary lords, artifacts and followers, and upgrades. The more Ruination marks you have, the more herd stones you can erect as well. Of course, your enemies can remove a herd stone if they attack it like any normal settlement, and if they do, they cancel your Bloodground effect and any associated bonuses. I mean, the Lords of Chaos aren't going to reward you about the proper ritual paperwork being filled out in triplicate, right? But of course, we're all here to see the shiny new toys, right? So, the new legendary lord is Taurox, the Brass Bull of Rage and Death. He's a pure and simple frontline wrecking ball, like most Minotaurs, but, well, bigger, shinier, nastier. His ability to wreck face is impressive enough, but his rampage mechanic, which builds as he wins battles on the campaign map and trashes settlements, increases with each victory. This in turn will grant bonuses to him and his forces, but at the cost of 0 downtime, thus no chance to replenish your numbers. His rampage drops quickly when turns are spent outside a battle, so you have to balance when to go hard on for attacking multiple armies and settlements before taking that time to rest and replenish your goat herd. New lords come in the form of the Doom Bull, which is another Minotaur unit that is just so brutally powerful it's unfair. You'd need special units like heroes, lords or monsters to take down a Doom Bull one-on-one. If not, you gotta micromanage a lot of fire from numerous missile units. Other than that, the Doom Bull is a mangler on the front line. The other new lord is the Great Bray Shaman, a powerful spellcaster. He's free for anyone who signs up for Total War access, and they can access the laws of beasts, wilds, shadow, and death, allowing them to have access to a number of powerful debuffs and attacking magics. The new hero that's added to the roster is the War Gore. This goat boy is a tough frontline fighter who works as an effective anti-infantry unit who buffs nearby friendlies. Though he isn't as effective as the new Doom Bull, if you pair him with the new generic lord though, the two can form a tag team of destruction unlike any other. I just don't know what the tag team name would be. Too Horny? Brainslay? Doomgore? I'm sure the bookers have it all planned out before SummerSlam anyway. Unit-wise, we have the Tuskgore Chariot. Basically, it's a chariot pulled by spiky boar people, and honestly, it isn't all that exciting and my low point for the DLC. Chariots have never quite worked properly in Warhammer games, so I don't think it will be topping anyone's top Beastmen unit list. They may be better than your Razorgore, which has also been buffed, but again, if you want Beast Cavalry, just run Centaurs. The true unit highlights though of the pack for me are the Gorgon and the long-requested Jabberslife. The Gorgon is just terrific looking. It's a quad-armed giant with a cowbell around its neck. The quite literal monster. It exists just to murderize everything you set it to attack. Given the size of this thing, it can tear down walls as well, and gates during sieges, and heals itself when doing damage. Naturally, it causes terror, which goes without saying given what it is. The Jabberslife is a maddening creature that works as a pure anti-infantry unit, spitting corrosive bile and blood, with debuffs to surrounding enemies and poison. It works well in tandem with other large monstrous units, like the Gorgon. One of the most requested beasts from fans of the faction, it's great to see it in its disgusting, awkwardly floating manner on the battlefield. Another bonus monster, though, that's been added for the roster is the Feral Manticore that is now recruitable rather than a summon. Even more giant beasts to fling into poor unassuming ranks of infantry. And, well, that about covers the new additions in their broadest terms. Both have been given some extra love, especially the Beastmen, which is nice to see. I hope you like this. And I look forward to bringing you my first in a series of new Total War Warhammer 2 videos in the near future. The Dwarf rework will be covered in a future video as well from this new series. But until then, have a good one all, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!